you. Thank you very much. And Minister, welcome back again. In the 2 days that the Seanad has been back, I feel you've been here more than I have. But I thank you for your commitment to always be here for commencements and that yourself. It's really appreciated. I get the logic of this bill, there's no question about that. It's quite a wieldy technical speech on your behalf, which I don't envy you. And I suppose I want to address that education welfare matter and that the education welfare issue, certainly from a homeschooling, all of that, it is intuitive that it would be under the Department of Education. However, I'm very taken by and committed to your leadership of the children of the department and the vision of the Department of Children, Disability, Equality, Integration, youth affairs, all of that under one roof. I have been very taken by that. I'm taken by all of the moves that you've made over the last year. So in some ways it's a little bit counterintuitive that when we're moving that welfare concept over into another department, that we don't have the Minister for Education here to say, it's okay, everything will be all right, I'll still do it in the same way and with the same vision, which I have no doubt that she would. So I suppose my concern would be to ensure, and I see that the technical provisions in the Act, but are in the bill, but that I hope that the school attendance for children will be monitored and will be provided for in a very holistic manner. And I think that begins with preschool. It begins with our vision, our investment, the money that we put in and the programs that we put in at a preschool level, as well as when they go into school or they're being homeschooled, whichever that is. I think that we have, many of us this afternoon would have received an email of a particular case, but it is not unusual that we have children with special needs and with disabilities who only get a couple of hours a week in school because there either isn't SNAs, there isn't provisions, or there's particular needs of that child or some other reason, and that is deemed to be sufficient by the system as it stands at the moment, when it isn't. And it is that child's right to education as well. So I think that there are potentials for gaps where we have the Department of Education, your department, where we have different departments involved in the welfare of children and contributing to the issues as to why a child might not be fulfilling their potential and being given their full provision when it comes to their education. So I am a little bit concerned about that oversight. If TUSLA are accountable to your department and to the committee that works with you, and then to make sure that there are no gaps, that there is. And in some respects, I wind up here in saying that we almost need an interdepartmental group or some sort of a meeting that you commit to on an annual basis to ensure that we have that holistic provision for children that you have very well articulated in the last year. Last September, the TUSLA report on school attendance showed that it detailed the attendance for the years 2017 to 2018, and we saw that the number of students that were absent for more than 20 days a year were predominantly schools that were in DEIS schools, predominantly in Leinster, that there is quite a shocking over 12% of primary school children had more than 20 days absence. And while it actually was going down for secondary school, but it was increasing for primary school. And I think that's where your department really comes into it, in the provisions for childcare, that we prepare children for that socialising, that experience, that we have, we look at maybe, the first 5 vision, that we make sure that is feeding into and being informed by the education welfare reports that come out of TUSLA on an annual basis. I think the functioning of the ECC scheme, for instance, albeit that it's only 38 weeks a year. You know, we've come through a policy lab in Fine Gael on the care of the child, and that's one of the significant. Children don't disappear, parents don't disappear for the other weeks of the year. And while we've heard from opposition members contributing this week, and to yourself, in this idea that, you know, there are employees in childcare that are on fixed-term contracts, unlawfully renewed fixed-term contracts each year for ECCE, but actually those precious weeks where the ECCE doesn't run, they could be preschool weeks. They could be preparing them specifically for going in for that transition, and also that the staff in the education welfare aspect within TUSLA, how equipped and trained and qualified, and I've no doubt that I've seen their range of qualifications, which are impressive, but are they equipped for that hidden, the hidden matters that contribute to absenteeism, the hidden matters that I would come across. I am chair of a drugs task force, and in discussions with the professionals there, they talk about identifying those factors within the home that will cause school absenteeism, and that chaos for children in some instances. So I think that it's important that hidden harm is that there's an ability and a skill set to detect that, and that's informing that holistic developmental and socialising of children through to then their education and the inhibiting factors to their education. I think that also, we have a situation at the moment with the funding, the CCSP funding ceasing and coming. There is a particular impact on that for after-school services, and the Dublin 8 Alliance, Childcare Alliance, have articulated that very well, where the manner in which the 20 hours is allocated disproportionately affects the very children that absenteeism is probably higher in and more likely to be, and that after-school support and provision is maybe the very thing that may keep them and be part of that welfare package that supports those children. So I think I'm looking for reassurance in the change, and in the while it is intuitive for welfare to be totally governed, that aspect of TUSLA to be totally governed in the Department of Education, I lament that movement away from the vision that you have articulated for your department, and that you have brought to fruition in the last year, and that we all continue to work in under the programme for government, and that I suppose to make sure that we have that means of that no child is being left behind, that no child is falling through the gap, be they from a particular area or from or have a particular disability. So I would ask you to attend to that. Thank you.